Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe. We are trying to hit 50,000 subscribers until the end of the year. And let's get going, guys. So today we have kind of another speculations video a little bit. But basically I did some research and I found 5 aircraft that are probably the most likely to come in a soonish future before we even get more modern stuff or even other stuff. We might see these coming, or not even that, but aircraft that could come right now without actually breaking the game, you know? Because a lot of people talk about the F-15, about the Su-27, but I'm talking about fighters here, obviously, attackers and other bombers and stuff. Obviously, we can see it in the future as well. But I mean, in fighter-wise, we are kind of in a balanced kind of situation right now. But it won't take too much time, I think, to actually get to a place of some countries having more stuff than the others again. Of course, this is always the case. Obviously, you see, like, for example, the Tornado ADV with the UK. I mean, yes, it's a advanced aircraft, but it's nothing compared to a MiG-29 or an F-16, right? So there is that. But it's kind of blocked. The UK, for example, in this case is kind of blocked, so there's nothing that we can actually do, right? So yeah, I think there are some aircraft that might, you know, be the tip of the spear on this sense. So aircraft that would be added in the soonish future before we see stuff like that, or maybe afterwards, but aircraft that would not break the game and can be added. We're going to talk about 5 of them for 6 different countries, basically. So let's get going, starting with the US and Israel. Both of them, even though they can receive the F-15, the most likely option is the F-16C. I added here the Block 30, but it can be a Block 25. I just think that the Block 30 would make more sense, just because it has the extra engine. So it's the main thing about it. Obviously there are some other changes, but the main thing is that. But yeah, it's basically an evolution of the F-16. This particular version is from 1987, and it was already built to be able to carry the future AIM-120, right? So it would already be an option that not only the ADF could carry that, obviously, but the Block 30 could carry that in the future as well. As well as the Sparrow, so it can be added with the AIM-7F, M, P, maybe, you know, the P variant would be very interesting, and of course the AIM-9Ls and AIM-9Ms. Has lots of improvements, better avionics, better radars, has a FLIR system, so the air-to-ground is improved a lot as well. But the main thing, I think, is the 2 things. The APG-68 radar, which uses a high PRF mode finally for this radar. So he has basically more range, right? A lot more range. It would be at least like 30%, I would say, but it can be more. We have to check, but still. And also TWS, which would mean, I mean, it's nothing too crazy. I mean, in the MiG-29, I barely use TWS because that TWS is kind of weird. But once you have a good TWS and it's useful, I mean, it's pretty good to actually use that thing. And also the plus on that is that it carries the improved engine made by GE. So it has around 2200 kilogram force in the engine more, in the sense of afterburning engine. So that would be very, very interesting to see. Would it be OP? I think depending on the counter that it receives from the other side, I would think that it's okay, but the main thing is that it would be an overall improvement of the F-16, and I think the F-16A it is kind of lacking a little bit, so that would be very cool. For Israel, obviously the same aircraft can be added, but maybe if we get R-73s and 9Ms and stuff like that in the future, we can receive the Python 3 being the main difference, right? If we don't get that yet, it would just use the normal missiles, the AIM-9Ls, AIM-7s, for the future to receive the AIM-120 and another missiles. So yeah, for US and Israel, a Block 30 would make sense, you know. For Germany, we don't have many aircraft that can be added. I think the MiG-29 912A is the max that we will have for now until we receive the Eurofighter. And and even the MiG-29, people talk about the MiG-29G, but remember the G variant, it is only different in avionics, basically using NATO standard avionics and radios and AFF systems and stuff. Everything else is the same, the aircraft is the same. So I don't doubt that we will never see a MiG-29G as a variant of an aircraft, probably just a skin, right? So there's basically nothing to be added apart from the glorious and great F4F ICE, or the ICE, right? Of course, initially it would be needing to be added without the M120s. There are some sources that claim that these aircraft could carry this barrel by manual. So yes, as you know, MiG-29s on the German side use the R27ER and T. So, I mean, why not add this barrel for the F4F ICE? I don't know what they are expecting, but it would basically be like the Kurnas or even the Vegan, the JA-37D, right? Aircraft that were even made to use the M120. Not made, but upgraded to use it. But in the game they don't have it yet because we don't have that missile yet. So the F4F ICE would be basically that. It would be the best F4 in the game. Remember, it's the lightest version of the F4 that we already have in game. So the addition of the lightest F4 together with the Agile Eagle would be the most maneuverable probably F4 that we have. And plus that Sensi would carry the 9L, right? And also the APG-65, which is the F-18 radar. So yeah, a very powerful radar, very good radar. So it would basically be the best F4 in the game. It would be amazing at a BVR kind of engagement. And also, it would be alright in a dogfight. I mean, it would still lose for a MiG-29 and F-16, but still, it would be the best F4 that we would see in game right now. And in the future, it can also receive the M120 for the just that modification, right? Then we go for the third one, for the USSR. Obviously, I had to talk about it, the MiG-29S. So the MiG-29S have two different versions of it, two main versions. We have the 913S, which would be basically the same aircraft that we have in game with the S package that we're going to talk about. But also we can receive, and in real life it was the majority of aircraft were these ones of the S, the 912S. So yes, it would be the same, fuselage as the German one, but with the S upgrade package. And what does it come with that package? Well, the main thing is basically two upgrades. The first one is an upgrade for the flight control system, and the second one is the fly-by-wire, right? And the second one is for the radar. So yes, it would turn better. It can turn the maximum in a safety condition, like normal operations in training and stuff. It would be 28 degrees of AOA, so it can pull 2 degrees more than the MiG-29's 912 and 913, the older ones. And yeah, but of course it could pull even more than that in an emergency situation or in a dogfight, right? And also it would use the better N019M radar. So yes, not only it would turn better, so yeah, it would keep it up a little bit better with the F-16's. It will also have a better radar to keep it up with the other aircraft as well. So yeah, it would have around 80 kilometers of a smaller target of detection, 70 to 80 like an F-16, and then 90, maybe 100 depending on the size of the target, right, of detection. So it would be a little bit better, I think. And also the major thing is that it was going to be able to use the R-77. So if in the future the R-77 is added, it could be used as well. So this is kind of an interesting aircraft. I mean, it would be very fun to see the 912 fuselage for the Soviets, but also it can be an upgrade for the current 913. It can basically be a modification on tier 4 that you can just get it and then become a better MiG-29. So that would be it. For Italy, the fourth one, The Tornado ADV, I think it's, I mean, fair and square that they get a Tornado ADV as well. Probably already confirmed, right? So yeah, same as the British one, it was the British one. In real life, they never used the Super Temp Sky Flash, apparently. They jumped straight for other missiles, but still, since the Germans have, for example, the R-27ER and T, and other missiles that they might, I mean, they didn't have it in real life, I don't see why the Italian ADV shouldn't get this Super Temp Sky Flash. It would just make sense, right? And then the final one, the Swedish one, is kind of a suggestion maybe, because Sweden is kind of in the backbone here that, I mean, we can see some other aircraft for other nations. We can see the MatAWG 2000-5, we can see, I don't know, a J10, more versions of the J8, we can see a lot of things. But the thing is that Sweden kind of is in a stuck in position, right? Because in the Finnish part of it, it could technically receive the F-15C, but I think it would be a little bit too much right now. Maybe with the addition of the Block 30 and the MiG-29S and stuff, it would be less of a problem. But still, it is an aircraft that I don't think it's going to be added fairly soon, right? So, and for the Swedish part of the tech tree, I mean, there's only the Gripen, right? And with the Gripen, you would have 4+ generation aircraft, even though the Gripen is a little bit older than some of the others. But still, I think, I mean, it's hard. Then you have the Sky Flash kind of problem that the Gripen could use the Sky Flash in theory, but I don't know if you will. There is many problems like that. So a Norwegian F-16A Block 15 would solve those problems. Yes, it would be basically the same as the ADF that we have, but it could do anti-ship as well with the Penguin missile. But still, I think it would suffice for now. I don't know. It's kind of a funny situation because I don't know. I don't want everybody to have an F-16, but some of the nations, it's the only option that they will have. The Japanese was kind of a stretch to that rule, but still, I mean, the Swedish with a Norwegian aircraft, you know, it would be less of a stretch than the Japanese with the F-16AJ, in my opinion. But still would be a little bit of a stretch, so they need to reconsider, right? So, I don't know, if they ever add a Norwegian sub-3 or maybe just one vehicle to make it a little bit more reliable, I don't know, something like that, the Norwegian F-16 Block 15 would be there to help. Obviously, I think in later stages, it could carry the MO-20 as well. And as I said, of course, there are other aircraft. As I mentioned, the MatAWG 2000-5, I think it's too advanced for now, but it might be added soonish as well. The J10, I think it's too advanced for now, but it can be added later as well. So it depends on the aircraft. We could see a bigger list over here, but these are the aircraft that would not break the game. They would basically use the same missiles, have kinda the same performance, maybe a little bit better, but just improvements over it, and it wouldn't break the game, right? So yeah, maybe that's it. You can judge if they are needed or not, that's another topic, but these are 5 fun aircraft that we could receive right now that would make sense, right? But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about this 5 list, and do you like this type of video? I hope you enjoyed, and subscribe and bye guys, see you.